we doing, everybody? Sammy and I People's TV. It's Friday. Put a smile on your face. Tomorrow, we may not be smiling at the end of the Community Shield, but we'll find out. I'm going to speak about news and the fact that Ligt is involved in it. That's not funny, but it kind of is funny considering he's a target for United, involved in some sort of hit and run. Feels like that's probably a little bit of an over-exaggeration from the British press, but I'm going to bring you what's being reported out in the German press. And we'll also speak about Ligt. We'll speak about Mazraoui. We'll speak about Berge. We'll have a little conversation. We're going to hear from Ten Hag on transfers. We'll hear from him on Jadon Sancho, on his philosophy. Well, you want to dominate the ball? Well, it's about time we start seeing that. And that's what this season is all about, the evolution of Erik Ten Hag and the football this season. And as always, I will answer as many of your questions and comments as I possibly can throughout the show. Who's here from everyone? We're just here. Alex, how you doing, buddy? I hope you enjoyed your ride from London to Amsterdam. Josh, good morning to you. Klein, you're there. Anuj, you're there as well. Carter saw you at the start of the show, as always. We've got Stephanie, Toby, Gren. We've got Charles, Stevie, Ben, Paul, Richie, and Monty. Good morning to all of you. And on Facebook, we've got Akin Pelu. We've got Rogers, Saidi, Isaacs, Carol, and Danny. Good morning to all of you. Hope you enjoyed the show. As I said, let me close that window first. That's a yappy dog. Everyone hates yappy dogs. I hate yappy dogs. What's the point in yappy dogs? They're just annoying. I get big dogs. I get medium dogs. But just little yappy ones. It's just no point. All right? No one enjoys a yappy dog. I don't think so anyway. I can't speak for everyone around the world. Did I breathe in the intro? I'm not sure. There's a lot to get through in an intro, right? Let's run through some transfer news around Manchester United that I'd like to discuss at the start of today's show. And we've got to start with this one. I'm happy for De Gea, man. What was that? Did he have 2 years off? Or was it 1 year off? I think it was 1 year, wasn't it? Yeah, because it was 1 year for David De Gea. And now he's going to Fiorentina. Man, that's a beautiful place to go. Going to go to Florence. He's on a 2-year contract, 1+1. Maybe, right? Maybe he'll stay there for longer. But he's only 33. So he's got years. Goalkeepers go into their 40s sometimes. But I'm really happy for him, man. It was still the right thing that he left Manchester United. And I won't have anybody convince me otherwise. Do I think that Onana maybe came a year early? Yeah, I think that was possibly the case. I think we could have done with maybe spending that money. Well, I'm saying that. Anyway, we don't need to get back into a previous conversation and a previous argument, really, and debate. Good luck to Dave. I hope he nails it. Are Fiorentina in the Europa League? Because you can see what's going to happen. Say the football gods. It always bloody happens. Europa League 2024, 25. Where the team's at? Who's in? Fiorentina in? Looks like Lazio are in it. Roma are in it. Well, no, I don't think they are. Now, never mind. That's boring. Are they? I don't think they are. So, well, I couldn't see them there anyway. Anyway, good luck to David De Gea. Let's move on to other transfer news that has happened. Now, this Todibo situation is, I would say, probably one of the most frustrating things that's happened this window. All right? Todibo to United going into the summer transfer window felt like a shoo-in. It felt like a guarantee. And it would have only been 30, 40 million pounds. I don't know if it would have been that much. And he's a good player. West Ham have swooped. And now they've hijacked the deal. He was going to be going to Juventus, but now they swooped, getting him on a season-long loan. And David Ornstein is saying a buy option, not even a buy obligation. May well be that Todibo just plays there for a year and then just comes to United next season. If it's a buy option, kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, that's frustrating. Although, type yes or no in the comments. Do you think Man United would have signed Lenny Yoro if Jean-Claire Todibo joined? Because I'm not sure that we would have. Well, maybe we would have signed Todibo and Yoro as our two centre-back options, both more naturally suited to the right-hand side. Don't know. I don't really think we would have. So in that sense, you might say, well, all right, kind of worked out quite well. Man United not signing Todibo. Anyway, he's going to be going to West Ham. I think West Ham are having a cracking window, and the only way that they complete this window is if they sign Wan Bissaka. And I'll speak about Wan Bissaka to West Ham a little bit later. But if it is a buy option, it may well be that Todibo gets a year of experience in the Premier League and then comes to Man United next summer. Unless it's an obligation. I've seen different people saying different things. So it's a pretty damn good move for West Ham. They've got, who else have they got? Max Kilman. So they've got two new centre-backs. Going to be getting in Wan Bissaka, hopefully. That's another right, basically changing the whole defence. They've kept Kudus. Paqueta, isn't he? I don't know what's going on with Paqueta. Didn't he get found out for some sort of match fixing? Not match fixing, but match betting. Bit like Ivan Toney. And speaking of Ivan Toney, segue. That was a 10 out of 10 segue. Right? Give me that. Reason I'm saying that. Bournemouth have agreed to sell Dominic Solanke for a club record fee to Spurs. Now, he's got a release clause that's in and around the £60 million mark, I think. Scored 19 goals, I believe, for Bournemouth last season in the Premier League. And would clearly be going in as a pure focal point for a very exciting-looking Spurs team. What the names of their signers? I can't remember. They've got, was it Berge? They've got the Norwegian lad who's joined, who's just turned 17, 18, can't remember. They got the lad from Leeds, who was highly coveted as well. Spurs, I don't know what's going to be going on at Spurs this season, but they've got a very exciting young core of a team. I think a very good manager in Postecoglou. I probably would, as a neutral, enjoy watching Spurs this season. I think they're going to be a good team. But you know what I was saying there about Ivan Toney? The fact that Spurs have decided they could have easily had Ivan Toney. He was right there. Probably, let's be honest, Archie Gray. Thank you very much, Pos. It's Archie Gray. They could have had Ivan Toney probably for less than what they are going to pay Bournemouth for Solanke. And I think that kind of tells you the stock of Ivan Toney. It's not as high as he thinks it is. And it's not as high as Brentford want it to be. The fact that they've gone for Solanke, I think that will probably be a very good signing. They've needed a striker ever since Kane left. Yeah. That's it. Bergvall, Archie Gray, Solanke. I think they're having a pretty good summer. So West Ham. And the final thing on other people's transfers, right? I don't know what to say about Chelsea anymore, right? They just agreed a €20 million deal. What's that? Okay. Anyway, some comments from Antony. I'll read through those later. €20 million deal to sign another goalkeeper. And I don't even think this is complete, by the way. Chelsea were responsible previously for being the first club to kind of ruin the football transfer market for everybody. Ibrahimovic? Maybe not. Can't remember his name now. What's his name? Abramovich. When Abramovich came in, Chelsea just spunked money. Just breaking records, spending more than anybody had spent in any one summer and doing it 2-3 years in a row and just buying the league and buying players for ridiculous prices. And it forced the whole market to react. It changed football transfers for every summer that happened after. And what Chelsea I don't even know what Chelsea are doing. It just kind of feels like they're mind sweeping, just getting players with the concept of, we'll just get them and sell them on for a profit in a year or so. That's what they're doing. And watch other clubs react and start doing this. But I just hope, and ladies and gents, you know how much I hate this football club. I hate Chelsea more than I hate City. I really genuinely do. I think that's come across quite a lot on this channel. And I just hope this blows up in their face. Just know all these players getting signed for like 7-8 year contracts. I have no idea. You've never seen a squad like that, and they're still making signings. Yeah, he's running like an NFL team. NFL squads are huge. And the mad thing is, right, all of this, I don't even know how many first-team signings they've actually made. I think the majority of their signings aren't even going into their starting 11. Let's hope that blows up in their face, ladies and gents, because it needs to. It really, really needs to for everyone else in the market. That, as I said, Chelsea completely changed the market for everyone else. When Abramovich came in and started spending tons of money and the market reacted, prices went up, and everyone else had to then start spending loads more money. I hope that Chelsea, what they're trying to do here doesn't work, but maybe it's going to be something that forces everyone else to react and do similar things and start effectively just collecting players like football stickers. I don't know. I have no idea what they're trying to achieve, honestly. Anyway, speaking about signings. Erik ten Hag speaking about signings yesterday. And let's be honest, it's been a pretty frustrating week on the live shows here. Yesterday I had the debate about, what is it the fans want? Do they want Manchester? Do they truly want Manchester United to be able to get rid of the United tax? Or would they rather just get that sweet dopamine hit of getting that signing in, even if it isn't the right decision in the long term, and maybe in 12 months' time you might be revisiting that? Anyway, we had that debate. Erik ten Hag spoke about signings yesterday in his pre-match press conference ahead of City tomorrow, which we'll speak about a little bit later. He said, look, we're in a good position. We know what we're doing. And just wait. Patience and the right moment, we will tell you. There's absolutely no way, right, that Man United have finished this summer. Right, we go to the board. There's no way we're finished this summer. At all. Euro and Xerxes are two starting 11 signings, but Euro's out for 3 months, and Xerxes, I think it's Scott he'll make his debut, but we need more. Everyone knows we need more, and more will happen. Unfortunately for United, it very much looks like it's going to be a case where the start of our season happens without the majority of, maybe not the majority, but without at least some of our business being done. And this is United standing firm over prices. And that's pretty much the reason why we haven't completed more signings. People are looking towards Zubimendi and saying, well, Liverpool are doing that. Why can't we? And truth be told, ladies and gents, they've just got more money than us to spend on that particular position. And it's why Manchester United surprised us all when the story came out linking Sander Berge with a move to Manchester United. Now, talks are continuing, right? The transfer window is not in Fergie time. Let's not go crazy. But I really, really wanted this summer transfer window to be where I put my feet up on transfer deadline day, cracked one open, and just sat there and laughed and pointed at everyone else. I'm getting less and less confident that I'm going to be able to do that. But I suppose we'll find out. Was it last summer? Jeez. Last summer, what else happened on deadline day? We signed Amrabat. I swear there were 3 or 4 deals that happened on deadline day. I can't even remember. Did we get Reguilon? Amrabat? What else happened? I can't remember. You have to let me know in the comments. Right, what's Antony doing? Everyone's talking about it in the comments. Alright, let's have a look there. Yeah, maybe I'll react to that for lunchtime video. I can pull this one comment up for later. I'll pull this up a little bit later in the show. Yeah, what else happened on deadline day last summer? Can't actually remember. Buy India, that was it. It was Buy India. It was Buy India, it was Reguilon, and it was Amrabat. All on deadline day. And you're thinking, like, pfft. Nick's saying, look, I get the Berge deal. Look, I did my video on Sander Berge, on sort of the full story of it. And it really, really struck me straight away that Berge was a signing that has reached this point because Manchester United have crunched all the numbers and data-wise from exactly the metrics that Man United are looking at signing in terms of midfielder. And in my opinion, that's a really strong player out of possession. Somebody who can cover a lot of ground, on his own, and doesn't mind working as an isolated player. Although Berge will probably be better in a 2, but just in those occasions where he does get found out in terms of the space. Berge ticks a lot of those boxes, and it's not a sexy signing. It's not a signing, I think, that's going to take United back to the top level, but could it be a signing which turns out to be good value? Could it be a signing which actually improves Manchester United's squad? Honestly, I think so. And that's not just me, I accepted mediocrity. Oh, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. This is a different type of signing to the signings that we've been making. All right? You look at Antony, purely made by Erik ten Hag, massive mistake. You look at Casemiro, made by John Murtough because we had no alternative to Frenkie de Jong because our scouting department didn't find alternatives like Sander Berge. And Sander Berge is an alternative to Ugarte. And Ugarte we're not signing because we're not paying the money that PSG want. And that's exactly the situation we find ourselves in with De Ligt. Like, is Sander Berge a new Weghorst? If he was to sign, I would expect him to have a bigger impact than Weghorst did. I mean, that being said, still the best football that we've played under Erik ten Hag existed in those 2 months where Weghorst started every single game. Right? What's going on here? David Ornstein be tweeting. Aston Villa turned down the first offer from Fulham to sign Diego Carlos. Look at that. Anyway. What was I saying there? I got completely lost. Reason we're not signing Ugarte is because he's 60 million and we don't want to pay that. Reason we're currently not signing De Ligt is because of the price. Now I'm going to run through the latest on De Ligt, okay? Ten Hag was asked about both of them, said, look, we need a big squad. I'm not going to name names, all right? But we need a big squad. We know we need the depth. Ten Hag was speaking about it in his pre-match press conference, speaking about, having 2 players in each position. I don't think we got that yet. I mean, do we have 2? We don't have 2 fit left backs. We don't have... I mean, you can put Martinez and then Johnny Evans if you really want it, but I don't know. I'd argue that we probably need another left-sided centre-back. We've got 2 right-sided centre-backs, but one of them's out for 3 months. We've technically got 2 right-backs, but one's about to leave. We don't have 2 defensive midfielders. We're all right in the central midfield positions. You've got Mason Mount, you've got Bruno, you've got Mainu. You can probably... Who else could you throw in there? Collier, he's probably a little bit deeper. We've got 2 on the right wing. We've technically got 3 on the right wing, if you include Antony. We've got 2 on the left. Yeah. Defensively, though, and defensive midfield, we need more. That's what I was speaking about. Weghorst. Thank you. Back to what I was saying there. I would imagine that Sander Berge, across the course of the season, if he was to join, would have a bigger impact at United than Weghorst did. But as I said, I think honestly, I think we genuinely played our best football under Erik ten Hag in that 2 to 3 month period. 2-month period, wasn't it? It was post-World Cup, start of January, to United winning the Carabao Cup. That was our best football, and I'm pretty sure that Weghorst started every single game. But Berge, it's not a sexy signing, man. Do I think that it might raise the floor of our squad? Raise the quality a little bit? Yeah, I do. And I think at 20 million, I think people going crazy over that, it's a bit odd. It's not as if we're spending 50, 60 million and we're holding him up as the centerpiece of our midfield. We're looking at him going, well, the numbers say that he would be a very good signing for our squad. Let's bring him in. Unfortunately, we don't have the money. Hey, look, if we had the money, we'd probably have João Neves. Truth be told. Can we loan Berge? Maybe United will try it. Anyway, let's speak about this De Ligt situation. It's a bit weird. A little bit weird. Well, anyway, we all saw these. Well, I hadn't spoken about them until now, but let me tell you what happened. This story came out yesterday that Leverkusen had set a deadline to Bayern Munich. If you want to sign Jonathan Tah, you've got to put in a bid for him. And Bayern Munich, by the way, are doing the exact same thing that they're trying to bemoan Manchester United about. The irony of football transfers. They're not putting in the offer for Jonathan Tah that Bayer Leverkusen want. They want 30 million euros for him. They haven't done anything past verbal. Nothing. De nada. And maybe it's simply because they're waiting for the De Ligt situation. And then you saw stories coming out from the German press yesterday that Jonathan Tah's not going to be joining Bayern Munich. They've made the decision. And then you're seeing other stories saying, oh, hold on here. Yeah, but it's still on. And it's just, it's the to and fro. It's like, we're out, we're gone. Okay, we're back in. It's just transfer poker. It's Bayern Leverkusen just trying to poke Bayern Munich into a reaction, not getting one. But they want Jonathan Tah, and they have to sell De Ligt. And it may well frustrate United fans, but it seems like, and I don't think that Ineos want to do this, but I feel like we have to because of how bad our finances are. We're probably going to stretch this out. That's what it seems like. If we were going to pay 50 million euros for De Ligt, we would have done it by now. All right, so we're not going to pay that. So either the price comes down, or United look elsewhere. And United have been moving on from targets quite swiftly, I think, this summer. From Todibo to Branthwaite to Yoro to De Ligt. We've got David Hanko hiding in the background in case United wanted to look elsewhere. And it may well be that we go after him instead. I don't know. But it feels like United are really trying to not let Bayern Munich get what they want. And it may well be that Man United go back in for Ugarte later in the window, by the way. Imagine that. Imagine we signed Sander Berge for 20 million euros, and come the end of the window, PSG are sat there with Ugarte, and nobody wants to sign him, and Man United go, well, I mean, the 30, 40 million, it's right there on the table. Or you send him on loan to us for a season. I mean, it's your choice. Or you keep him in your squad and you never use him because you've already signed João Neves. And this is what I mean about, there's no point giving your opinions on whether this has been a successful window or not until the end of the bloody window. So I think there's still plenty more to happen. Speaking of plenty more to happen, you see this as well? It's a bit weird. What do you mean PSG don't want to get rid of him? They absolutely want to get rid of Ugarte. It's why they signed João Neves. They literally spent 60 million on a position and then signed another player the next summer for the same amount of money. And now he's going to be starting every single week. And he hardly started towards the end of last season because there was Fabio Vieira and, no, Vitinha. Not Fabio Vieira, he plays for Arsenal. Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz were both ahead of him. They definitely want to sell him. Anyway, I'm sure you saw this coming out from the German press. That Matthias de Ligt is now involved in a potential hit and run. And when you read that headline, it's, oh my God, he faces jail time for a hit and run. That's crazy. And then you read the story. He rammed a parked car near the club's training ground. A witness is said to have seen the accident, called the police, gave the clue about de Ligt. He was on his way to training, but he drove off. I mean, that's a dumb move. That's like, yeah, it's just like hitting a parked car, looking around going, no one saw that. Oh. Apart from the fact that you're a professional footballer. Well, bit of a giveaway. So it sounds like he's just probably going to get a slap on the wrist and a fine, if that was him indeed driving. Or maybe it was Jonathan Tah just standing there, just peeping over. He parked the car there on purpose. I don't know. But United are not going to be paying 50 million euros plus bonuses for De Ligt. We're not going to be paying 25 million euros for Mazraoui. And United clearly feel that they've got the upper hand in these negotiations. And they're fine waiting. Now, fans aren't fine waiting. All of us want our transfers in now, so it's ready for the start of the season. But it's not going to happen. And I've said this before. The biggest problem with our summer so far has been the delays that has come as a direct consequence of Ashworth not starting until the 1st of July. Barada until the 13th of July. These things won't happen next season. When it comes to around about May time, we will know all of our targets. We will have done all the research, have secondary options for every single one of them, and we can really hit the market early. We wanted to this season, and we got 2 in before the start of the summer window, before the start of the preseason, which was actually quite impressive in itself. But a lot of the delays this summer, I think, won't exist next summer. No Euros, no Copa America. Ashworth in and settled. Barada in and settled. Wilcox in and settled. The whole football structure completely settled. I might be wrong. But I would imagine that a lot of the delays that happen this summer won't exist next summer for that reason. Let me read some super chats out down here. Oh, and JC as well. Jeez. Let's go down here what you're saying. Discord isn't accepting me, says James. Can someone help me? Someone help James in the comments, please. Discord should be pretty easy. It should just be just that link, unless the link isn't working anymore. I'll figure it out. I'm enjoying Omar, Dan, Jason, and Eric. Oh, look, you mates. First name terms. Playing chess. I mean, I'd rather we didn't play chess. I'd rather we didn't have to play chess. And if Man United had the money that we should have, we probably wouldn't have to play chess. But we do. We have a budget. And again, I've spoken about this yesterday. It's why I was so frustrated that there were people who, oh, United can spend 300 million this summer. And people bought into it. And if you buy into that, and then you look at this, you get frustrated because, oh, United should be able to spend 300 million. Well, it's just not true. It's not reality. Sexy signings are what has left us in this mess. Spat on the mic. That's how much I hate sexy signings. I wouldn't say it's just sexy signings. It's just wrong signings. Like Antony was just straight up wrong. Spending 60 million on Mason Mount last summer was the wrong priority of funds. The reason it happened is because Erik ten Hag was absolutely dead set that our system with 1 number 6 and 2 number 8s was going to be what took us forward, to make us a proactive team. And he got it spectacularly wrong. Left so many spaces. Had that style worked, Mount would have been a great signing. Had he not been injured for like 90% of the season as well. Anyway. Aaron, you're saying, I can understand penny saving, but when we buy De Ligt for 45 million, will that 5 million be worth the couple of gains we could lose waiting to sign him? I think that's a pretty fair concern there from Aaron. I mean, we can't know, can we? Would United really delay it by that much? But well, they're wrapping it into a double deal, aren't they? I'm still, you know what's very interesting, and I said this at the time, it's still not come out how much that double deal actually was. The bid for Mazraoui and De Ligt together. Nothing from Ornstein, nothing from The Telegraph or Fab or anybody. No price on it at all. So that was kept under wraps, which I think was quite interesting, seeing as everything normally leaks. But JC, jeez! I need that as a little soundboard. Jeez! I used to have that previously. Oh, I've got the soundboard over here. I said it again. I'll say it one more time. Can somebody please help me make a new soundboard? I just need some MP3s. I haven't got time to find them, download them, clip them, put them in a folder, add them on here, put them all the buttons, blah, blah, blah. There's too many things going on. But you gifted 20 memberships, dude. I've got the buttons working again. So let's see what Casemiro is saying this morning. And this is for JC. I had the buttons working. Was it disconnected again? Come on. I just reconnected it. Lenny works. Anyway, sorry about that. But thank you very much, JC, for gifting 20. You're a legend. Let's see what the next talking point is. Saw this yesterday. Amrabat's probably a sort of a back pocket option. Kind of what it strikes me as. I think Amrabat could be a good squad signing. And I stand by the fact that Manchester United could have and should have got more out of Amrabat last season had we played with 2 central midfielders earlier. Playing him in the isolated number 6 role, I mean, it's such a physically demanding role. You've got to be a monster to play that. He couldn't. But playing in a 2, I think he would be better next season if he was to come in. And that might be an option that United go for. Now, this, right? This is a bit weird, isn't it? All right, we're seeing this. And we spoke about this in the show yesterday. And I'm seeing lots of... There's quite a few comments on this. And quite a lot of them are saying, well, Sam, this is just standard. This is just a contract that United should be held to. Is this standard? Like, has this happened at other clubs? Is my question. Or maybe other clubs aren't foolish enough to put something in contracts that allows these situations to exist. I mean, I don't know. But look, I'll be honest, I don't pay close attention to anything that Liverpool or City or Arsenal or Chelsea do in the transfer window with players who are leaving. Does this happen elsewhere? Kind of need to know. I know that Maguire did it last year and he ended up staying. It might just be just another bad memory. And it's why Harry's saying that. Why would he sacrifice money? This is what I mean, right? This is why I got annoyed about it. Wan Bissaka has got 1 year left on his contract, okay? If Manchester United don't do anything, he leaves next summer as a free transfer. And when you leave as a free transfer, you typically get a signing on bonus from the club that you are joining. So you're telling me that if Manchester United are proactive enough that we sell him this summer, when he's got a year left on his contract, so he's not a free agent, that for us to be able to do that, we have to pay him part of that hypothetical signing on bonus he would have got had he left on a free. And we've got to pay for that because we're proactively selling him before he's a free agent. That doesn't make sense. In my mind, that doesn't make sense whatsoever. Harry, he'll make so much money if he sees out his contract. But we're trying to sell him this summer. So he's not a free agent. So it's weird. Halftime, he's saying that's the point, though. We denied him by activating the +1 option, where the intention was just to sell him. And if United wrote that into his... It's odd, man. It's weird. And I need to look and see if this happens at other clubs. It's happened 2 years in a row now with Maguire and Wan Bissaka, and it might just be our club. All right? It might just be us with the stupid contracts that we do. Odd. Weird. Very on brand for United. Alex, you gifted 5 memberships down there. I've got no buttons that are working right now, apart from... Lenny. Big up, Lenny. Anyway, Wan Bissaka. It might just be the latest example of United being held to the contracts that we've given players, which are a bit weird, which are a bit over the top. Yeah. I can't wait. And I'll be honest, if you think about this is probably going to take about, well, I'm guessing a contract cycle. I'm guessing that we can't truly have confidence that this won't exist at our club again, probably for about 5 years, because that's your typical contract cycle. So any contracts that come in for players this summer, so Yoro and Xerxes, and the contracts they've got, we can have confidence that those contracts have been written and done correctly because they're part of Ineos, and they're the only Ineos signings. Anything prior to that might have stipulations and clauses in them that were from the previous regime. Don't know. It's weird. Anyway, let's move on to the second part of the show. We're going to be speaking about the game against City, all the comments from Ten Hag in the press conference, and also going to be running through my starting 11. And what else are you saying down here? Both Wan Bissaka and Maguire are going to West Ham, so it could be them telling the players to do this. I mean, it won't be. It'll be the representatives and the lawyers that Wan Bissaka and Maguire employ to look at these particular things. Daz is saying we need to put an option to sell as well as another year. If we, I hope that isn't true. That idea that if Manchester United do exercise the option to extend by 1 year, that United players are therefore entitled to a fee if they get sold. Imagine writing that into a contract. Madness. Anyway, it's not the curtain raiser for the season that matters. Like, that's Fulham next Friday. But it pretty much is domestically the curtain raiser for Manchester United. It's the Community Shield. The winners of the league versus the winners of the FA Cup. United against City at Wembley. It'll be a packed stadium, and it's the perfect final game for United to have before the season starts. It will be a game where the pace and the intensity goes up a notch. It'll be a good crowd. The result won't matter, but the performance will. And against City in the FA Cup final, you know what we did. I'm going to run through my starting 11 a little bit later, but let's run through comments from Erik ten Hag, right? Let's just run through this one first. Do you see this? This has just come out. There's a big old interview that came out with Antony. Might cover it for a lunchtime video. I might do something on Xerxes. I haven't quite decided yet. But this is what he's saying, right? Confirms his plan to stay at United. This season will be totally different. Rest assured, you'll hear the name Antony in relation to goals and assists. Look, truth be told, if Manchester United could sell Antony, Manchester United would sell Antony this summer. I think that's definitely the truth. But we can't. And I will be delighted if Antony proves me totally wrong. I'll come with humble pie. I'll gobble it all. And I'll say, well done. But I very much doubt it happens. And I also wouldn't put him ahead of Ahmad on the right-hand side. Who else is on the right-hand side? I wouldn't put him ahead of Garnacho on the right-hand side, so he's third choice on the right-hand side. He's obviously not going to play on the left because he can't use his left foot. Yeah. Antony, man, proved me wrong, but if United could sell him this summer, I think we would sell him. Now, Erik ten Hag's been speaking about his football. And we've heard this a lot, right? Ten Hag's philosophy. Takes me back to the stuff I did originally when Ten Hag came in and after Ralph Ragnick. I remember I used to love doing those research videos. They're wicked. Still think they're some of the best on the channel, actually. Ten Hag speaking about his philosophy. He wants to dominate the opponent, wants to dictate the game in all aspects of football, but we need to see this now. Because I don't doubt him. I really don't doubt that that's what he wants to see. That Dutch style of Ajax football, not necessarily just total football, but controlling football. Last season, we didn't see that at all. He adapted. Actually, to be fair, it was his tactics he chose, and he just stuck to them, and they just didn't work. We need to see it against City. We need to see it against Fulham. Onana's talking about the risk-taking. We have to be better at playing out from the back with the ball. That's how you start controlling games. That's how you start dominating the opponent, dictating the game in all aspects of football. Play out from the back with the ball a million times better, and a lot of these things fall into place. I think so anyway. Now, this is a bit of a joke, and I wish I was actually joking, but I'm not. Lindelof, Maguire, Wan Bissaka and Shaw are all question marks for the Community Shield. And I've seen a lot of talk about Shaw yesterday. Hasn't played a game of football for United since February. Went to the Euros with England, despite not being fit whatsoever. Trained the whole time. Got himself fit enough to start the Euro final. And actually looked all right. And now he's not fit to play the Community Shield. Does that mean his match fitness isn't there? Or does that mean he's got another injury? I mean, we don't know that. I'd be amazed. It depends on what Harry Mass does, I suppose, this year. But Luke Shaw, man, love you, but you're about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. Which is a real shame, by the way. And I don't say this with a smile on my face, like really happy. Shaw's just done. I imagine this season is going to be a season where Shaw comes in and out. He's good. He's gone again. He's good. He's gone again. And then we shake hands and say goodbye, Luke Shaw. And I imagine the same thing happens with Tyrone Malacia. So I think left back could be where United go big next summer. Left back and probably in central midfield as well. I mean, Harry Mass is in my starting 11. I'll run through that next. But it's just, I don't get it with Shaw. I really don't. You can be fit for the Euros final, and then you got a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's holiday. Well, you haven't you didn't start a game in the Euros. You only played one. So you were training. So just continue that training. Make yourself fit and available for when you come back. Apparently not. And then Lindelof and Maguire and Wan Bissaka. Yeah, I don't care about any of them. Well, Maguire, probably. Eric Ten Hag speaking about Xerxes, saying, look, he's not as fit as the rest of the team. He could well make his debut, but we don't quite know yet. So, fingers crossed, we'll see Xerxes in the game against City at some point. And in terms of Jadon Sancho, Ten Hag's just praising his versatility. Now, this was the team that I chose, right? Starting the game. I don't actually know, by the way. Can I go big there? I don't actually know whether Diogo Dalot is even fit. Because he might not be. And if Diogo Dalot isn't fit, I honestly have no idea who starts at right back. Because Wan Bissaka, even if he was fit, I don't want Wan Bissaka playing. We're trying to sell him. Don't let him get injured. James Scandon played at right back there. And he got skimmed by Martinelli. He's never played right back before. And he played there. So, I mean, you could have Habib Ogunai from the academy team, but I don't know. It's a bit weird. But that's the team I would go for. Actually, no, I didn't have Xerxes in it. I have Sancho in it. People saying no, Mainu. I would... Look, Mainu played well, when he came into the team, he played pretty much every minute. I would probably rest him. And you could say the same thing about Bruno, but we know Bruno's a physical freak. Bruno will be fit for this game. And that's what I would go for. A front four of Rashford, Ahmad, Bruno and Sancho. The front four against City in the FA Cup final was Garnacho on the right, McTominay and Bruno. You could see McTominay in there. He's fit, isn't he? I don't know what he is. What's your prediction for the game? I want to see Amas start. I want to see Collier start. And I want to see Martinez start. Mason Mount could come in there. Yep, for sure. Mason Mount could come in. I might not be right with this starting 11. I really probably will be wrong. But I want to see Xerxes coming off the bench. And the thing I'm just looking forward to seeing the most, and what I want to see the most, is United doing this, man. Right? Keep that line nice and straight. Yeah, well done, Sam. Keep these lines close together, right? That's the thing that works so well against City. What you saw was United kind of dropping into this shape. This is the shape that we occupied against City. And by doing this, they really struggled to play through us. But not only that, we played out from the back really, really well. And our build-up was fantastic. It was that ball from Rashford over there to Garnacho into the space that led to the second goal. But ultimately, United sat in this shape, really compact. But when we needed to, we all burst forward together at the same time. That's what we need to see against City. And I'll be honest, that's what we need to see all season long, right? 4-2-4. Stay compact. When the transition happens, transition together. Go forward together. Come back together. Don't man mark anybody. Sod that. That's what I think anyway. And let me pull this up there. All right. 2-1 for United, says Teklom. 1-1 says Chicky. Just win on penalties. Hey, look, I think that was my prediction yesterday. 1-1 draw, and then we lose on penalties. 2-0 City, humble us. Boring 0-0. It's a Community Shield. 2-1 United. 8-0 City. 1-0 City. 3-2 United. 3-1 loss. 4-0 loss. Yeah, let's find out. I wonder what the odds are. Let's have a look. Remember the odds for the FA Cup final? It was 6-1. I'll put a cheeky 50 quid on that. What do you reckon the odds are tomorrow for United to win? Where do you see it? Community Shield. And that might have to be another 50 quid. 4-1 for United to win. Yeah, I don't really know who's going to actually start, though. It's not park the bus, Al, right? In no way, shape or form is that parking the bus or what I'm suggesting. But Manchester United last season, we were so open. It was like, come on in, score a goal, take a shot, do whatever you want with our defence. And it worked brilliantly against City in the FA Cup final because we didn't give them the space. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't pass through us. And also, we played out from the back so well. We created chances and cut through them. We blasted on the counter-attack when we needed to. It was a disciplined shape, a disciplined performance, and City didn't have an answer. That's what we need to do as our default this season. That's plan A. Plan B, we can knock it long. Onana over the top, runs in behind if you need to. Fast transition. But that should always be a plan B. That's why I think so anyway. I'm going for a 1-1 draw and we lose on pens. But I'm mainly focused on the team shape. I want to see us making sure that we don't go back to the man-to-man press. Sod that. I don't want to see that again. But look, last couple of minutes of the show, fire in your questions or anything you don't think I've spoken about. From a transfer perspective, it's been quite a slow week. It's been a week that's felt like stalemate. De Ligt, Mazraoui, Ugarte, all of them, stalemates. We don't want to pay the prices that Bayern Munich and PSG want, and we're willing to wait for it. We're willing to look at other targets. From Ugarte, we've gone to Berge, which hasn't tickled a lot of United fans. But from a squad perspective, I think it will kind of depend on the price. But I like to think that Berge would be a signing that by the end of the season, people would go, oh, actually, that one worked out quite well. Oh, yeah, John, thank you very much. I've had it up here. I nearly forgot about it. Does Xerxes get game time? I hope so. There you go, just map day, that's all you need. It is map day. I nearly forgot that one, but I didn't because I read the comments. That's why you read the comments. Let me know where you're watching from, ladies and gents. The town and the city and the country. Or the town. Or the village. And I'll get you added onto the map. All right? What are you saying down here in the comments? Absolutely dreadful to even talking about Berge, says Joe. Do I rate Berge over Amrabat? That's a good question. I think from a physicality perspective, out of possession, I think Berge would probably offer a bit more than Amrabat. And given that that's probably the main thing I'm holding out for when it comes to midfield signings, and I probably would. What are we saying down here in the comments? We've got Ahmed watching from Selangor in Malaysia. Ooh. Never been Malaysia. I bet it's hot and sweaty. One of those like 99% humidity places where you just come out of the shower and you're sweating. We've got Olamide watching from Chalandri in Greece. Atiki. Man, love Greece. Give me that sweet med diet. And we've got somebody down there watching from the one, the only. All right, ladies and gents, it's Gainsborough. All right. Fwa. Yeah, I'm sure he's got some nice bits. Anyway, they're the three names on the map. Gainsborough. Very nice. Look, ladies and gents, another week done here on United People's TV in terms of the Monday to Friday live shows. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your comments. Joe, you're saying there the Berge will be the opposite of a statement signing. Yeah. I don't think anybody at Manchester United or anybody would suggest that Berge is a statement signing. Lenny Yoro is a statement signing. Berge is a squad signing, if it was to happen. Not a statement signing in any way, shape or form. And no one's even suggesting it is. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you drop a like on the video. I'll be here tomorrow after the game with my match reaction to the Community Shield. I'll be here at lunchtime today with my lunchtime video. Not sure what that's going to be on, but you'll find out. Maybe around about 1 o'clock. Thank you all for tuning in again, one more time. Have a cracking weekend because it's supposed to be hot as hell in the UK. So go and get some suntan, baby.